Hello and welcome to Two Chicks Tell All. We're a couple minutes late, but we are having some technical difficulties. So the computer kept freezing, so I kind of had to just wait, I guess, until it did its thing.
Started to wake up.
So yeah, hi everybody. It's your girl Tay Tay here.
And Cece.
And we wanted to wish y'all a happy Easter.
Happy Easter Eve. Yep.
Yes. So that's kind of going to be the theme of tonight's episode. We're going to go over a little bit just about different Easter traditions, kind of like the background of where Easter came from and how it came about. And also we'll talk about spring cleaning a little bit because that's an important thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, look, it's saying restart to stay up to date.
Okay,
Remind me
we'll
later.
remind us later to do that.
Just random stuff happens whenever you're on air sometimes.
Right. Yeah, and Tay Tay took the reins again this week. I got slack yet again. So Tay Tay did her research and I'll be just chiming in on some stuff.
Hey, Annie J. Happy Easter. Good evening. Annie J commented.
Oh, nice. Hey, Annie J.
I figured she was coming. She said that she was going to come whenever I talked to her earlier on in the week. All right, so I'm going to give a little bit of background about how Easter came about and its origin and different things like that. So Easter, Latin Pascha, Greek Pascha, principal festival of the Christian Church, which celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ on the third day after his crucifixion, which, we don't usually get political and I guess that type of stuff here, but we're talking about the origin of Easter, so that's just where it came
Tapping
from.
into our religion here.
Yes. The earliest recorded observance of an Easter celebration comes from the 2nd century. Through the commemoration of Jesus's resurrection probably occurred earlier. The English word Easter, which parallels the German word Ostern, is of uncertain origin. So, according to what this says, Easter originally was a German holiday that didn't really have a specific origin of how it came about. So that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. So one view expounded by the Venerable Bede in the 8th century was that it derived from Oistre or Ostre, the Anglo-Saxon goddess of spring and fertility. This view presumes, as does the view associating the origin of Christmas on December 25th, with pagan celebrations of the winter solstice, that Christmas appropriated pagan names and holidays for their highest festivals, given the determinations of which Christians combined all forms of paganism, the belief in multiple deities. This appears a rather dubious presumption. So that was a lot of words.
Right.
Let's see if we can break this down to kind of, to make it simpler here. So basically, Easter was derived from an Anglo-Saxon goddess of spring and fertility, and it kind of associated Christmas with it too. So I don't know how that all ties in. I'm trying to figure out how that all ties in there, but
well, the feasting, we can all associate the fact that you eat.
Right?
You always eat well on Easter. Make big meals. So in the sense of feasting and relating it to, I guess, Christmas in the sense you also feast at Christmas. So
right. There is now widespread consensus that the word derives from the Christian designation of Easter week, as in alibis, a Latin phrase that was understood as the plural of alba, which means dawn, and it became Osterium in Old High German, the precursor of the modern German and English term. The Latin and Greek Pascha, which means Passover, provides the root for Pâques, the French word for Easter. So the date of Easter and its controversies fixing the date on which the resurrection of Jesus was to be observed and celebrated triggered a major controversy in early Christianity, in which an Eastern and a Western position can be distinguished. So there we go.
Yeah.
Religion again. So yeah, I do apologize for those that are not, into talking about religion, but that's just kind of, the basis of Easter. So that's why we're getting into it. All right, so this was not resolved until the 8th century. In Asia Minor, Christians observed the day of the crucifixion on the same day that the Jews celebrated the Passover offering, that is, on the 14th day of the first full moon of spring, 14 Nisan, which is that's part of the Jewish calendar, is where that comes from. So the resurrection then was observed 2 days later on 16 Nisan, regardless of the day of the week.
That's what I was going to say. It's like certain holidays have a day that they always fall on.
Like
always, and yeah, Easter
Thanksgiving
is
always on Thursday.
Right.
Same
different date though. It could isn't that always like it falls on the third Thursday of the month or something?
I think so. And if you notice, like Easter, not Easter, I'm sorry. Christmas is always like a day after, like next year, it'll be like a day after what it was this year, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So, and then you can always count on New Year's being exactly like a week after Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. Let's see what the viewers are saying. So Annie J puts out devotionals. So that's interesting. She said she's going to kind of do a devotional on that. It is the pagan practices, and the Passover started April 5th and ends April 18th this year. Michael S. chimed in and said, "Hey, Taylor," and "Hey, Annie." And Annie just said hi to Michael. That's what we got going on here. All right. In the West, the resurrection of Jesus was celebrated on the first day of the week, Sunday, when Jesus had risen from the dead. Consequently, Easter was always celebrated on the first Sunday after the 14th day of the month of Nisan. Increasingly, the churches opted for the Sunday celebration, and the Quartodecimans, which is the 14th day proponents, remained a minority. The Council of Nicaea in 325 decreed that Easter should be observed on the first Sunday following the first full moon after the spring equinox, which is March 21st. So it's supposed to be the Sunday after the first full moon after the equinox. So
right, which we have the full moon now. So
so that kind of explains it.
Yeah.
All right, so Easter, therefore, can fall on any Sunday between March 22nd and April 25th. Eastern Orthodox churches use a slightly different calculation based on the Julian rather than the Gregorian calendar, which is 13 days ahead of the former.
Wow.
This is like a lot of information, but yeah, it gets into like a lot of political stuff about, the disciples and stuff like that. So I think I did cover like a good majority of it just with like that little segment.
Right.
Kind of just like where Easter, where you can always count on Easter being and how it kind of originated. Okay, so we can get into like the vigil a little bit because that's some important stuff. So in 1955, the Roman Catholic Church set the time for the vigil at 10 p.m., which allowed for the Easter Mass to be celebrated after midnight. In the Orthodox traditions, the vigil continues to be an important liturgical event, while in Protestant churches, it is little known. By the 4th century, the Easter vigil was well established in various liturgical expressions. It was characterized by a spirit of joyful anticipation of the resurrection, and because of the belief that Jesus' second coming would occur on Easter, the return of Jesus. In the Roman Catholic tradition, the vigil has 4 parts. The celebration of lights focused on the Paschal Candle, the service of lessons called the prophecies, the administration of the sacraments of baptism and the confirmation to adult converts, and the Easter Mass. The use of the Paschal Candle to denote the appearance of light out of darkness through the resurrection, was first recorded in the year 384. By the 10th century, it had gained general usage. So there's just like a little bit more, I guess, like background about how the vigil set up and how like the weeks before Easter are set up. So
and the lighting candles, and then Christmas too.
They have the Advent candle.
Yeah, the Advent candle. Which it was. I'll tell you a story about this. So when I went home for Christmas, my dad's church is so small and there's not a lot of members, and they had like Christmas Eve service, and so we went, and Dad said, "Well, can you light the Advent candle and everything?" So I had to go up there and light and everything. Well. So at the end of the service, Dad's like, you got to go out there and put the one blah 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 whatever. Well, dumb me, I like put them all out and forgot to like light the flame back onto the little torchy thing and carry it back out the church. I completely like buffed them all out, so they were gone. Like I didn't. I said, well, I hope I didn't jinx anybody by not bringing the light out of the church.
Oh my
God. So yeah. So
that
just made me think of that story.
Okay, so now we can just get into like, I guess, like this eggs and like different things like that in regards to Easter.
Right.
So since the 12th century, the Lenten fast has ended on Easter with meals including eggs, ham, cheeses, bread, and sweets that have been blessed for the occasion. So now a little bit of history behind the Easter egg, because I feel like that's important to get into.
That is cool about the ham, because that's always like, as a matter of fact, my dad's going to get to my brother's for dinner tomorrow, and that's what he's doing the ham.
Oh yeah, that's what my grandma always cooks, which this year I'm unable to go home for Easter just because there's a lot going on, so I won't be going back to PA for Easter like I usually do. But I know that like my grandma usually cooks a ham, and then she hides Easter eggs for everybody. Like she'll literally hide. I don't know how many Easter eggs this woman hides, but she hides like six of them for like the kids and like the grandkids and even the great grandkids now. So I don't know how many eggs that like this woman hides, but she puts $1 in each of them. And like my grandma has like an organizational system for like all of this. Like we have to like pick a color like out of a dish, and like that's the color that we get, and we have to like go and find the Easter eggs throughout the house. And it's like a big like to do and like a big fun thing. And you get 6 eggs, which means $6. And my grandparents have done this for years. I'm pretty sure they've done it even since like my aunts and uncles and like my mom was little. So like this is a tradition that's like gone on forever. And actually one year whenever I was home for Easter, I hid all the Easter eggs, and I made my grandma laugh because I hid them all in one place.
Nice.
And she was laughing so hard. So like every year on Easter, like my grandma mentions that, like if I call her up like before Easter, she'll be like, do you remember that time that like you hid Easter eggs? Like you're not here this year to like hide the Easter eggs. Like she always brings it up, and like it's a funny time. But yeah, let's see what the chat's saying. So we got there's a lot of chat going on here. Let's see what we got going on.
Chat.
I know, I'm liking it though. Annie J said Easter is celebrating the 3 days after Jesus' death. And then Michael said that he's ready for some ham tomorrow.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go out to eat some ham, I guess.
Yeah, my mom is actually cooking a turkey breast. Like I work for like the first half of the day, and then I'll be going over to my mom's for dinner, which I think she's making a turkey breast. I told her that I'd make some deviled eggs, so I made those. Let's see. Easter is a total Christian holiday, and deviled eggs, LOL. Annie J, that's funny that I had just mentioned that.
I know, right?
So it is Catholic, but not Baptist. And Annie J is a Baptist, which, but she's open to like hearing about all, like she's very open-minded. Michael says he's Catholic, which I was actually born and raised Catholic. However, I don't really attend like Catholic church anymore. I go more to like Methodist, and different things like that, like I don't know. there's just, I don't mean to get political, but there's just a lot of stuff that goes on in the Catholic Church right now that I don't necessarily 100% agree with. So that's why I've kind of gotten into like different things. Like I want to go to church, I am Christian, I do believe in God and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. There's different ways that like people do things. All right, let's see. I didn't mean to get off into that tangent. Annie J's cooking a ham. Annie J said, "That's good, Michael. We both have the same basic beliefs, just not the same customs." And Michael said, "Exactly. I'm not actively practicing." Yeah. I've heard of people like that, that they're Catholic, but they don't actively, participate. Okay, so we can get into a little bit about the Easter egg. So the use of painted and decorated Easter eggs was first recorded in the 13th century.
Wow.
So that was a long time ago.
That was a long time, yeah.
The church prohibited the eating of eggs during Holy Week, but the chickens continued to lay eggs during that week.
Nice.
Listen, you can't stop the chickens from laying eggs. I hate to tell you.
That's funny.
During that week, and the notion of specially identifying those as Holy Week eggs brought about their decoration. The egg itself became a symbol of the resurrection. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Just as Jesus rose from the tomb, the egg symbolizes new life emerging from the egg cell.
Oh, nice.
Eggshell, so that's interesting. In the Orthodox tradition, eggs are painted red to symbolize the blood Jesus shed on the cross. So, Easter egg hunts are popular among children in the United States. First Lady Lucy Hayes, the wife of President Rutherford B. Hayes, is often credited with sponsoring the first annual Easter egg roll, an event where children and their parents were invited to roll their eggs on the Monday following Easter. On the White House lawn in 1878, that year the event was moved to the White House from the grounds of the U.S. Capitol building, where a large number of children had gathered beginning in the early 1870s to roll their eggs.
Wow, I didn't realize that tradition went back that far.
That's
does. Crazy.
I know, it is kind of crazy that I didn't even think that, a lot of that stuff existed back then.
Right.
But, I guess it does. I guess it did at some point.
Nice.
So yeah,
we should start that. We should do our own little Easter egg roll.
I know that would be fun.
We'd have to have some adult beverages and make it even more entertaining. For sure. But we should do that.
We should. Year. That would be fun.
A little late for. Wait, it's the Monday after Easter.
Yeah.
Dang. Do we have time to plan it?
Me and Cece actually dyed Easter eggs tonight.
Yeah, we did. That's a tradition. I've always talking about traditions, but that's something I've always done with my mom and all. Even after I moved out, I would go back over to mom and dad's and dye the eggs with mom. And then after my mom passed away, my aunt and I would dye them. We'd usually go over to my dad's and dye them over there. And so Tay and I picked up the tradition and kept it going this evening. Had some pretty cool eggs we did.
Oh, we did. Some of them were tie-dye looking. They were kind of cool.
Yeah, and they turned out nice.
All right, we can see what the chat's saying.
All kind of egg dye kits out there now. It's insane. Glitter eggs, marble eggs.
So Michael S. said, "I was a Scientologist for 2 years, but I left the church and went back to Catholic." That's kind of interesting because I feel like those are two like completely different faiths on the end of the spectrum.
Right.
So that is kind of interesting. Annie J said, "Well, you can watch my devotional video. And also, Michael, the Bible says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst. So right here, right now, you are practicing your faith." That's it. That's a good mindset. Annie
right.
J.
Yeah.
I like that.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree.
So I think that I have given, a pretty good amount of info just about like Easter and like the origin of the Easter egg hunts and kind of how everything came about. So did you have anything you wanted to add to the conversation?
No, just in the sense of like, I definitely can agree with the tradition set, and how they're, I always remember Easter dinner, whether it be at my grandmother's house or when I lived and my mom was still alive and cooked a big meal and everything. And always being the ham, kind of stuff. And yeah, I used to love the Easter egg hunts too. Like we would do it like when my nieces and nephews were small enough. We would hide the eggs and make them go and look for them and find them. And then we would let them hide them so that we could go out there and look for them and find them. Because I always thought that was just like such a cool thing, like looking for Easter eggs and stuff. So and yeah, we did like change. I think in some we never did any really high dollar amounts of anything.
Yeah.
Or there would always be though the golden egg, and the golden egg would have the $5 in it.
Oh, wow.
So, and my grandmother used to, she would do them too out in her backyard and hide them for us and all. It was funny because we would always like try to be peeking out the windows and be like, oh, and watching. It's like, no, you can't cheat, But yeah, so again, this is my first, actually, I guess, holiday in the sense of any holiday major other than like, Christmas and Thanksgiving that I haven't been at home. So I'm going to go out to dinner with some of my friends and, enjoy somebody else cooking a good meal. Hopefully have some ham.
Yeah. I think you'll be able to find some.
Oh yeah, for sure. So,
but yeah, I kind of just have some of the same types of Easter traditions, like Easter dinner. I would always go to church with my family on like that Sunday.
If I were to be at home, I would definitely be going with my dad.
Easter dinner, the Easter egg hunt. My grandparents still do it to this day. So, it's something that continues to live on. But yeah, I guess that's all really in regards to Easter. Do you guys out there have any like specific Easter traditions that you typically do? I know that we have 2 in the chat right now. So if you want to talk about some of the Easter traditions that you do, we can talk about that. Michael S. said, it's going to be beautiful here tomorrow in Cincinnati for Easter. It's going to be 70 and sunny. He's happy because it usually rains or it's cold.
Wow, you're getting good weather.
Listen, it's been raining all day here. But I'll tell you one thing. So
cold.
Yeah, it's been raining and cold all day. So I work at a restaurant on the weekends. And I think we've established this like a few times. So it was funny because I went in at 7 today, which is like my normal time. I'm typically there from 7 to 2 or 7 to 3, somewhere in that time. So I didn't think that we were going to be busy like at all today because for the first like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours of my shift, it was like completely dead. Like we were just like standing around like bullshitting the whole time and stuff like that because we didn't have anything going on. But then all of a sudden, I don't know if it was like 10:30 hit and like everybody had waken up or something.
Right, yeah.
But we were
up and out.
We were slammed probably from about 10:30 till I left around 3-ish. Like it was just very crazy. But yeah. Let's see. Annie said, "You're right, Michael. It always rains in New Jersey also. Ham is a cheaper alternative to lamb, and lamb represents the blood of the lamb used at the Passover." And Michael asked me if I work at Hooters. So I can tell you that I actually don't work at Hooters. That's not where I work. But that's a Michael thing for you. He's always cracking jokes like that. He said, "Just kidding." And then Annie J was laughing at Hooters. Yeah, that is kind of funny. I've always had a lot of questions about that place. Like, I'll be honest.
Oh my God.
I know that we're getting off into another tangent, but Michael Ash just reminded me of this. I've heard a lot of different things about how to get hired there. And apparently your boobs have to hit the wall in order for you to work there.
Dang.
Which that would explain it. I mean, if you've ever been in a Hooters,
right,
those women are very big breasted usually. So I don't know.
This one guy that I met, we met through a friend of mine and his too, but we ended up going to a Panthers game on our first date. Well, we went part at the stadium and then ended up leaving because those dudes didn't pack anything as far as like tailgate and stuff. And I had just gotten laid off my job. So anyway, it was like these company tickets, but the attorney that I was inviting anyway insisted I still go. So those fools didn't have anything. So we ended up leaving there and going to this sports bar. And it was like the sports bar and grill in downtown Charlotte, and ate, and then went back to, luckily the guy said he would hold us a spot since we'd already paid to park. So we were able to go back and park right where we kind of had been. And so after we had, we got engaged and we were going back there to like celebrate, where we met and all that kind of stuff. So we went to go back to that same sports bar and grill, and it had turned into a Hooters. And he was like, well, we still got to go in. I mean, because it's just sentimental thing. Like, he was kind of a sentimental guy, I guess. But
you don't find many like that.
I know, right?
Nowadays.
But he was insisted that we still go in and go back to see if it was like the same as how it was we met. Which honestly, I probably couldn't remember how it was anyway. But go back and sit near where we sat in the back or whatever. So I was like, go figure. But yeah, Hooters. So it turned into a Hooters.
Listen, who would have known that we were talking about Easter and now we're talking about Hooters,
right?
So welcome to Two Chicks Tell All, where we have random tangents that we don't know where they come from.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I guess we could talk about spring cleaning.
Cleaning, yeah, because it's that time of year. And actually, I did my pretty much really good spring cleaning a couple weekends ago. I don't know what got into me, but it was just one of those days.
Is that the day that you Clorox wiped everything?
Yeah, I took the Clorox wipes and literally wiped down all the cabinets in my kitchen. I keep the countertops always wiped off, but you don't ever really kind of wipe your outside of your cabinets off every day.
I need to do that.
So I went through and the walls along the back, the backsplashes and stuff, and then really got into the bathrooms and all, vacuumed the floors, mop the floor. So I kind of got my spring cleaning already mostly out of the way. Like it could be vacuumed again, some stuff.
I mean, I honestly kind of do like a routine cleaning weekly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I sweep and mop the floors. I, vacuum my rugs. I clean my bathrooms. I clean my bedroom. Vacuum the floors. And then pretty much every day, like I keep up with like the dishes and like wiping down the counters. I don't know, like I'm very OCD.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I don't feel like I can go to bed if I have dishes in my sink. So it's I kind of just have made that a habit where dishes are not in my sink whenever I go to bed. So I don't really know if I'm going to be doing any particular spring cleaning, to be honest.
I have to do that moving of the clothes, like where I kind of move some clothes that I, winter stuff I had to, or summer stuff.
I'm going to let Cece take over. I got to use the restroom real quick.
But, if you have to switch out to have room for like some of your summer and winter stuff. And I had to put up like in some bins, my summer, like the shorts and stuff and the bathing suits and all, so I could get more of like my shirts and sweatpants and stuff like that, sweaters out. So anyway, that's, I guess, in the sense of cleaning. It's not really cleaning. It's more like organizing that I'll need to do, which I don't know. It's been raining here. We've had a couple of days of rain, and I think they're finally calling for it to clear up sometime tomorrow. So hopefully we won't have a total washout for Easter, and especially since I'll be getting out, going and meeting some peeps and going and eating some dinner. But yeah, so... And tips on spring cleaning, I know a couple things that I've learned that are definitely helpful is like using the pillowcases if you have to clean your ceiling fans. That's where you just, get a kind of older pillowcase and you put it over the blade, kind of fold it over and then pull on it on the top and the bottom to pull all the dust off of the blade. So it doesn't come like falling down all over you, But I do have one of those mops. I have the laminate floors, like the, floater floors or whatever you call them. And I use a vacuum cleaner to run over it, but they have those, it's a Bravana, or it starts with a B, kind of those wet mop things where it's got the cleaner that you can put down in the little sprayer mop thing. And it has the removable pads that you can actually wash. Those things are like the best for cleaning. Like they do well. I actually bought one that had the wood cleaner in it for my wood floors when I lived in Columbia, because there was all wood floors in that house. So I had that one and use it on the wood floors. And literally, like, you could vacuum really good and then go over it with that thing, and those floors would be like shiny. And the floors I have in here, are kind of more like a grayish tone color. So you can tell over a certain amount of time after you've walked, in and out. A lot of times you can see where it is getting a little on the, kind of dirty side, I guess you could say. But run that mop thing over it and you spray it, and let the spray hit the floor and then run it over. That thing is one of the best, like, little wet mop things if you need a really good one. And I know I had one of the vacuum cleaners before, the Dysons, that I had here, but it broke and I had to get a part order. Anyway, long story short, I ended up having to buy another one because it wasn't fixed in time and I wasn't going to let my floors get bad. So I did buy one of those Bissell. And I will have to say, as far as the step down, that's not as high priced as like the Dysons. Those Bissell vacuum cleaners, and I actually have this shampoo or carpet one, is a really decent, like, vacuum cleaner. And then the only other thing I will say about this is more in the organizational side as far as this, but my friend, I gave her and I bought one, is a label maker. And it's this cool.
I need to get into that.
It's this cool label maker that I got from Amazon for about $25. And it comes with 4 different kind of tapes. And you charge it, you plug it up and charge it. But then you put this app on your phone. And that's how you print your labels, is through the app. You Bluetooth it and connect it to the thing and print it. And so I do believe in, like, label stuff. If you've got, especially a bunch of stuff like crafty stuff or, anything that needs to be more organized, definitely invest in a good label maker. And those were about, it was $25.
So, just gonna read the chat a little bit. Michael S. said, we have a new place by me called Twin Peaks. I've actually heard of that.
Oh, there was one of those in Columbia.
Yeah. I think we have one in Myrtle, I think. It's like Hooters. It is ran by the old CEO of Hooters. I've actually seen a lot of girls on TikTok that work there and talk about it. Yeah. So it seems definitely more risque than Hooters to me. Annie said that she went to a Hooters. It's okay, not the best food. Their wings are pretty good.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've heard is.
Yeah, but that's about it. Annie J cleaned out her refrigerator.
I need to do that.
I saw her video on that. She had a little YouTube short on it. Michael said, I just learned that Clorox wipes aren't even Clorox bleach in the wipes. It's some form of ammonia. So I wonder where they're getting to call them Clorox then.
Sure smells like Clorox.
They certainly do.
Oh my gosh.
Michael says, I really like Steramine. It is really good stuff. I don't think I've ever used that. Some of my favorite cleaners, I like a lot of, like, the all natural ones, like Mrs. Meyer's.
Oh yeah, that's a good line.
I love the Mrs. Meyer's line. I like the lavender. I like the lemon verbena. I like whenever they have the fall scents out. Now in terms of, like, disinfecting, I don't know if they quite disinfect as much as they should, but with disinfecting, I definitely like Lysol, and Microband's really good. If you're looking,
Mr. Clean, like, magic eraser.
Oh, listen, now, I love magic erasers.
They work wonders for stuff. They are really good, like, for the soap scum, and then, like,
I use those in my bathtub. Like, I'll just scrub the hell out of my bathtub.
Right? Yeah, I mean,
with that, yeah,
those do the trick too. And I'm still a true believer in the Comet. There's nothing that, like, scrubs the tub and gets the soap scum out like Comet, but you got to put your arm into it.
You got to put your back into it.
You got to put your back into it because it takes some scrubbing. But that was something I always use. There's some cleaners and stuff, like you say, when you find your stuff, you don't, go off the wall and buy a lot of different cleaners. And Tilex too for mildew is still by far the best. And that is some stinky stuff. Like, I have to spray that stuff.
Ajax.
And have the fart fan on,
Ajax.
and then shut the door and wait for a while before I can go in there and even rinse it down. But that gets, if you got, especially, how, like, sometimes the mildew get behind, like, silicone or something that you've got, like, around the caulking or whatever, and you can't scrub that crap out. So you don't have a choice but to, like, spray it. So
So actually, I do have a little bit of research on spring cleaning. So this is 16 cleaning tasks that you should do every spring.
Oh, nice.
So listen up. Change smoke and carbon monoxide detector batteries.
Oh, I don't even have one of those. I have one in Columbia at my house.
I feel like I kind of just change those as needed, to be honest.
Yeah.
Change interior HVAC air filters. Once again,
I do that every like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I change those as needed too. Move furniture and clean hard to reach spots, which I need to do that.
Well, I have a funny story about why you should do that too.
All right, go ahead.
Right before I sold my house, this is a good story. So, and I sold real estate before. So when I sold my house, I did it myself. Like I put it on Zillow, and I was in a good neighborhood, really hot market too at the time, because that was last year before everything kind of started really going back up. And I put it on, it hit live about 1:30 on Friday, showed it that evening to this lady and her daughter, got a cash offer Saturday. I had listed it for like 203.5. And so I think the cash offer was 2. I don't think it was the full asking, or maybe it was right at asking. But anyway, the lady and daughter who had seen it on Friday they were really interested. And her daughter happened to be 23. How old I was when I found that house. And I love that house. I lived in that house 27 years. So it was really a special house to me. So, I told her that if I had an offer or whatever, I would call her. Well, I had been doing some running around that Saturday. So by the time I got back and was able to open up this other cash offer, I just vaguely saw what it was, like cash listing. And so I didn't really read through the full contract. So she was calling me. And so I switched over and answered her call and everything. And so she was like, well, have you had any offers? And I said, well, actually, I do. I have an offer. And I said, it's a cash offer. And she said, well, you're going to take it. And I said, well, no, not necessarily. I said, and she said, well, I want to put an offer in and we're going to bring it by tomorrow. I said, okay. So I get off the phone with her and then I read this offer, and it was actually like one where this other company was basically going to buy it straight out. And then they were going to turn around and remarket the property. And I work from home. So it was like, I would have to only be given like 24-hour advance notice if people wanted to come in the house and all this kind of stuff. The bottom line was, it was like not good deal for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, no thanks. Because I knew I could sell it too. So anyway, she brought the offer over that Sunday and it was for 205. So I ended up working with her. Bottom line on that. But 2 weeks before we were going to close, I moved my sofa.
Yeah. Oh.
And I had not moved my sofa, excuse me, in probably, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years. I mean, I didn't rearrange my furniture a lot. And y'all, the hardwood floors had kind of shifted a little. Like there were gaps. Like it was bad. And so I was freaking out. So I told her to call her, maybe send her a text because she was a teacher. So and said, you need to come by. So when she comes by, and I'd already gotten somebody that was going to come over and look at it for me to get their opinion. And so she came by and she was like freaking out because she's like, oh my God, all the floors are going to have to be replaced and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, I'd already put some money into this anyway to get it sold. So I was like, I knew I couldn't drop any more money in it. And so after, she was going to have some people come and look at it, but my people were like, Cece's no big deal. It won't be that bad. You can probably, get by, one of the guys said I could do it for you for, probably under $1,000 or whatever. So I was left a little more at ease. So when she had her people come over, which one was the termite guy who actually did the termite inspection and passed termite inspection and everything. And he was kind of like, well, there was a vent up against the wall back behind the sofa that had been shut off. So it wasn't like it was open, but the fact that there was no air getting up under there and there was condensation that had built up from that duct that probably caused the shifting in the floors. So, he was kind of like, basically, kind of explained itself. But so when our floor guy came to look at it, and I was there, obviously, and I just don't think he realized I was the seller. But when he saw it and everything and looked at it and he goes, yeah. And he starts kind of going in this spiel about, oh, it's seasonal. I've seen this happen, blah, whatever. And she finally was like, well, what would you do? And this was the great line ever. He goes, well, I wouldn't do anything right now. I just give it some time. And I was sitting there going, yes, on the inside, yes. So then she started talking to him about wanting him to come in and re-sand the floors because they really did need to be, or, like cleaned up, buffed out or whatever. And so she was seeing if he could go around and give her an estimate. So he was walking around the house. He'd take us up into the hallway or whatever. And I flat out looked at her and I was like, so are we good? And she's like, oh, we're good. Yeah. So I'm like, but yeah, so move your furniture. That's the short, long,
I need to do that.
Long story.
Yeah.
Move your furniture every now and again.
All right. So inspect washing machine water hoses, which is not something that I would think about doing. Clean clothes dryer vents, which I do that.
I do that every 2 or 3 dryers.
I do that like every time I go to dry something.
You don't want that crap building up.
No, because you can exactly. Drain sediments from water heater tanks. I don't know. We're getting real technical now.
I know. That's some heavy stuff.
Empty closets and store winter clothes, which...
Oh, that was what I was saying earlier.
So it's just like, I don't know. I feel like where we live in South Carolina, it could be like 70 one day and then 30 the next.
We had the massive drop this weekend.
So what I do is I have all my clothes out at all times because I feel like, tank tops. I'm a big firm believer in layering. I layer the hell out of everything.
Oh, yeah.
So, like all my tank tops that I would usually wear in maybe like the summer or spring or fall, I can put under like a cardigan or something like that whenever it gets cold out. So, So I don't really have a specific time where, I have my winter clothes out or my summer clothes out. They're kind of all put together, which is kind of my way of doing things. Aunt Sherry's here. Hey, Sherry. Good to see you. Aunt Sherry says, hello, just popping in with everyone to say happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's see. Go ahead.
I was saying we're going through spring cleaning tips.
And we're thinking about, we're just talking about some cleaning tasks that you should do every spring. Let's see. Do some pest control.
Oh.
Well,
my pest people came the other day.
I mean... that's with my HOA. So they take care of that, thank God. Wash windows and clean window treatments. I need to do that more often.
The best thing for that, I'll tell you that because I had to use it on mine, is Windex actually makes the stuff that you screw into your hose. And like it's got kind of like a clean and then a rinse like dial on the thing. So you get the windows wet, then you go through the clean thing, spray the stuff on there and let it sit for a couple of minutes. Read the directions, but it's pretty easy. And then you rinse them off. That stuff makes your windows shine. So that's definitely a good product too.
I've heard that vinegar is really good for windows too.
Right, yeah.
I heard that gets all the streaks off of windows. All right. Clean gutters and downspouts, which I don't know. I live on the 3rd floor, so I don't really worry about that stuff.
That's not your problem.
Inspect the roof. I inspect the roof every day. Hey, is it still up there?
I know, right? Exactly. Yep.
Conduct an outdoor walk around inspection. I don't know who actually does that.
Right.
Prepare lawnmower and tools for spring.
Well,
once again, my HOA pays for landscaping or anything like that. So
I have a yard.
Ain't got to worry about that. Clean patios and sidewalks, which that reminds me, I should clean my balcony. It is pretty dusty just because of all the random pollen and weather that we've been having.
Right.
Refresh outdoor patio and umbrellas, which I ain't got to worry about that. The only ones of those that I have are out at the pool, and HOA takes care of that. Clean and organize the garage and other storage areas. That's probably what I need to work on.
I need to do my pantry. I need to clean that
Oh,
out.
yeah. My pantry is a hot mess.
Time.
Yeah. Let's see what everybody's saying. Michael said that Windex stuff is really good.
Right. Yes. The bomb.
Vinegar and a coffee filter works well, he said. Sherry said, I have to wash windows more often because she has cats and dogs. The cats and dogs, not to mention the grandkids, they all mess up the windows.
Oh yeah, the fingerprints.
Yes. So yeah, have you guys done any spring cleaning yet? Like, what have you accomplished in regards to spring cleaning?
Yeah, I still gotta, like I said, do a little more. Some stuff I want to do.
I probably should, go rent something to like shampoo my carpets.
No, I got one for you, girl.
You do?
Oh yeah, I got a cleaner.
Listen, yeah. I ain't gonna go rent nothing then. All right, that works.
It does the trick.
Yeah, because my carpets are looking pretty.
And it's the one like this. I tell you, their products are good. It's the one where it has the bladder. So you put the water in the bladder.
Yeah.
And then you put the cleaner in another little thing. And I mean, it does the trick. And it's got the heat thing in there too to help dry it. So
put it this way. So I moved into my condo in August of 2021. Well, for the first couple months that I was in my condo, I was having lots of parties. We'll just say that.
Right.
Like
yeah.
I was having parties. I had like a Friendsgiving. I had, I think like a birthday housewarming party. And I had like 30 people in my condo, which I don't even know how that worked out, but
yeah,
go figure. There was a whole bunch of people at Chez Tay. There was a whole bunch of people there. And, you can definitely tell that the carpets have been, had things spill on them and stuff like that. So I definitely, do need to hardcore like shampoo my carpets.
Hey, I got you covered, girl. I even got the cleaner.
Good, because otherwise I would have went and rented one.
No, I got you.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. So I know what I need to do whenever I want to shampoo my carpet, son.
There you go.
So yeah, Sherry says we clean the garage every summer.
Yeah, I'm sure that's one thing that would need a good cleaning every
summer. It probably collects
a
lot of dust, especially if you have like a big storage area there.
Right.
Because I know that my mom and stepdad have a garage, and it's where they store like a majority of things, and they have to clean it pretty frequently, if I remember right.
Yeah. My dad has this awful shed in his backyard. And
is it a she shed?
Oh no, it's just rusted out. It's one of those old aluminum ones, like those small ones. And it's so dangerous. I mean, you just wouldn't believe it. And he kept saying he was going to buy him a new shed, like when, get me some money saved up. Well, my dad is not hurting for money. I mean, he has enough to buy him a lot of sheds, and I'm like, Dad, but he's still, I mean, one time
that means he's careful.
I had to get him to go get
He's careful about his money.
I needed something. I don't remember what it was from him. A shovel or some kind of tool. And I went out there, luckily, and walked out there with him. And he gets back in the corner of that thing. And he's like almost falling. I said, no, Dad. I said, well, first off, I get on him that he doesn't have his phone out there when he's out there messing around by himself out somewhere to happen to him. But I said, now, what would you do if you were to fall and hurt, like hurt yourself really bad out here or something in this shed? He said, well, I guess I'd die in the shed.
Oh my God. I
know, right? That's exactly what he said.
Don't say that.
And I was like, Dad, come on. So yeah, he still to this day he's not modeling his shed. I always was like, maybe I should just like go ahead and have somebody have it installed for him. And
I know some people that could get you a good deal on that.
I can write a check out of his account, so I could just be like, Dad, sorry, I just bought you your new shed and I use your money, so here's your shed.
Oh goodness. My, that is funny. So yeah, do you have any more to add to the spring cleaning conversation?
I don't think so. I think I hit my main points.
I think I did too.
So,
all right. Sherry says we move the snowblower and lawnmower, and then we see something that shouldn't be somewhere. And pretty soon it's the weekend of cleaning the garage.
Oh yeah,
that's for sure. Oh yeah, that's what happens to me. Like I start cleaning my house, and like I'll start cleaning like one room, and then I'll see that like a certain task needs done, and pretty soon like I'm branched off and doing that. Like,
oh yeah,
my ADHD definitely kicks in.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think that's about all that we have to add to the conversation. So what I'm going to do is, why not? I'm going to copy the link. If anybody wants to come up and talk for a few minutes, go for it.
And yeah, we'll probably be back to our Sunday casting maybe next weekend, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think so.
We just kind of pulled it a Saturday because we could, and we usually our go out nights is usually on Saturday. So
but it's raining.
But it's yeah, it was a nasty rainy day, and it's gonna rain again tomorrow morning for a little while, and then hopefully be out of here.
So we decided to drink sangria and dye eggs
and do our podcast
and eat tacos.
Yeah,
they were good.
That's right, man. So good. I tell you what, tacos are an easy, good thing. You know,
they're cheap to make.
Yeah, they are cheap.
Not super expensive to make either.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoys their Easter and their like dinners tomorrow. If you're gonna be eating that good ham and turkey. I think my brother is doing like the green bean. I think it's ham, green beans, and she will do the deviled eggs.
I'm making deviled eggs with bacon on it tomorrow.
My mom would make this really good, and I'll tell you this recipe because it's really easy. And if you want something simple to make, but
Annie J wants to pop up and say, "Hey, hey, girl, hey,
hey, girl, hey, Sherry, hey, Michael. Can you hear me? Hello? Huh. I heard you guys. Now I don't hear you. Shit.
I accidentally hit mute in the meantime somehow.
Oh.
I was like, what's going on? Anyway, we said, hey, girl, hey.
I'm sitting here painting my nails, guys. What color should I paint my nails for Easter?
You should do like pink or purple.
Pink or purple. Okay, got it.
Yeah, mine's a pink now. My toes are pink.
Yeah, I have like magenta on my toes. I just got them done yesterday.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, what have you been up to today, Annie J?
Clean the kitchen.
She's spring cleaning over there.
There you go.
Preparing for the meal tomorrow.
There you go.
Are you cooking a big one?
Listen, either I'm going to cook a big meal or I'm not going to cook at all. We'll see how I feel, you know?
You're going to go big or go home.
There you go.
Go big or go home. That's right, girls. I'm gentleman.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Michael S. is, I think, the only male in here. Michael S., you know, we don't get a lot of male viewers, but we're happy to see them, though, still, whenever they do come about. Michael S. is a good guy. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, well, Michael wants me to paint pink.
Yeah, Michael said pink. So, yeah, pink or purple, whichever one you have.
How about make the third finger purple and the rest pink? That sounds great.
Yeah, it's Easter. I mean,
yeah, that's what I used to do with my nails whenever I used to get them done. Now I work at a restaurant and I get into everything, so I don't bother.
Yeah, and I like to use the metallic kind because I don't have to put 3 or 4 layers on, just one, you know?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Oh yeah, Sherry said that she's about to start her deviled eggs and make Jell-O. Huh. I'm making deviled eggs with bacon on them.
Yeah, I'm making deviled eggs. I boiled 2 dozen eggs, so I might cook tomorrow. We'll see. You know, I'm just getting lazy.
That's okay. You're allowed to be sometimes.
We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see what happens.
How about you, Cece? You cooking?
No, I'm gonna go out to dinner with some other friends of mine. Because it's just me, and I'm not gonna go through cooking a big meal or anything for just one. Like if they were gonna cook, if she was gonna cook, I was offering to bring something or whatever. But she wasn't gonna cook, so I'm gonna meet them and go out to eat. So.
Well, I got everything in the refrigerator, the sweet potatoes, the ham, I got it all. And then I'm thinking,
guys, so I'm very shocked, but my grandma's here. So I want to say, hey, Grandma.
Hey, Grandma.
Hi, Grandma.
She just finished making pickled eggs, which her pickled eggs are really good.
Oh, yummy.
Those
Okay,
are
what's in the pickled eggs? How do you make your pickled eggs, Grandma? I love pickled eggs.
She'll probably give you a full-blown recipe.
I know it's vinegar.
If she doesn't post it here, she'll probably send it to me to send to you.
Okay, it's probably, I think it's vinegar. You put some dill in it. I put beets in mine for color so they can turn red, you know?
Oh yeah, I think that's what my grandma does.
My
Well,
aunt makes
I
really
like
good pickled eggs. I don't know what she puts in them. That's something I've never really made. I
Like-
always let her do them because she made really good ones.
Right?
I just finished making my pickled eggs.
Yes.
Yeah, I
She
think
makes
I'm gonna do that. Look at that.
She makes good pickled eggs. She's a great cook, my grandma. She knows how to do it.
Yeah. Well, let's see, that's what grandmas do. Let's see. Tell her, do you know which movie where blush and bashful are the bride's wedding colors? I watch this movie every Easter. I have no idea. It just makes me think of Easter.
Oh, I don't know that movie, and I feel really weird because I'm like a movie buff, so you think I would know that, but I can't think
Yeah, I don't
of
think
I
I
can't
know
think
that.
of what that is, Michael.
Okay, Michael, I'm painting my nails pink just for you. Pink and then
There you go. All right, so I think Michael says Steel Magnolias.
Oh, that's a great movie.
I've actually never seen that, surprisingly
I
enough.
can't believe she's gone.
I know, right?
All right, I should make her watch it tonight.
I think YouTube has it for free.
They probably do. That seems like one of the ones that they would have for free.
Oh yeah.
It's got a bunch of well-known actors and actresses in it. All of them are well-known. I think it has Dolly Parton in it. No, wait, am I thinking the wrong one? I don't know.
The hair salon I go to reminds me of that place. Like it's actually in a little shopping mall, but if it were to be in a house, it would so be this whole cast of the people that work there and the people that are in there. I mean, it's like it trips me out. I love that place. They got some sweet ladies in there. It always cracks me up going in there. As a matter of fact, one of them, they order a lot of, I made this toffee.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they order a bunch of toffee. But they're a trip. I just love them. But they could be the Steel Magnolias, like, it could be a movie about them, that's for sure.
Taylor, you gotta watch that movie. It's got Dolly Parton, Meryl Streep.
Sally Field.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've just never
Olivia
seen it.
Dukakis is in it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're going to say good night for tonight. We've been on for almost an hour. So that's typically what we try to aim for. Half hour to an hour, you know.
And again, we'll be back on next Sunday, and we'll just see you then. We don't know what we're gonna talk about.
I don't know.
That's why we like keeping you at bay, is to not know what we might. So you'll have to tune.
It might be another true crime, since that seems to be like my thing nowadays for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, put it in your title. Put it in your title so we know.
Yeah.
It'll be about 7 for sure, but we'll be back on Sundays next week.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We love hearing from y'all. And if you have any sort of stories that you would like to share, or any type of topic suggestions or anything like that, don't be afraid to hit us up through email. It's 2chickstellall. It looks exactly like what's on the screen. 2chickstellall@gmail.com. So we love hearing from y'all, and this interaction has been fun. So
and we hope you do have a good Easter and everybody enjoys their day. And
yes, I hope you guys definitely have a blessed Easter.
You too. Michael.
All right.
All right, you too, hon.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.